too.
Hey, welcome back to another edition of Open Shutter, and we are live from Chicago. I really like saying that.
I like hearing
It's
it.
live from Chicago. It sounds so, I don't know, sounds very, I don't know, polished or something. But yeah, we're live from Chicago, back with Caitlyn, who was on about 2 years ago. And I just figured I saw her on Instagram one day. I'm like, hey, you wanna come back and chat? And she's like, okay. So here we are.
I love to talk. Why not? Let's do this.
Yeah, it was really good. We are just talking offline about it. It was a really good conversation last time, right? So
Mhm.
it's always cool to kind of check out like old conversations to see like how things have changed and progressed and what people are doing. And I know that you were saying offline stuff has changed for you and in a good way. And
Yeah.
it's always good to just check in and just see what's up,
Yeah, I know back when we were first talking, I was pretty fresh into street photography.
Yeah.
I had maybe been shooting for like a year at that point, and so really trying to get my footing. So things have definitely changed since then because I was very new to figuring out what I was trying to do.
Yeah, I remember that conversation, and I was saying how like how your stuff then was so good, right? Like it's just it's funny how people think, oh, I'm so new, but yet the stuff is good, right? So it's really more about the eye and trying to like document. I know that you were saying in that conversation, it's more about like the human condition, right?
Mhm.
Which I think still rings true today.
Yeah, that hasn't changed much for me. I
Yeah,
feel like I still very much am looking for emotion and uh, trying to, rather than like trying to capture a scene, like street photography, you're trying to catch something interesting with the whole background and a whole scene. I tend to take really tight shots of people
yeah,
expressing something. So I still, that rang true back then when I first started, and I really haven't pivoted away from that. I've just kind
yeah.
of leaned into it actually.
Yeah, it's kind of like a pillar for you, eh?
Yeah, and I think that's helped. I know I was saying offline that I've pivoted to event photography, and I think street photography really helped me with that,
Right.
to be clever in candid situations. So I think that made it a lot easier for me
Yeah.
having practiced with street photography
Sure,
first.
of course. It's the ultimate event because you have no control over anything.
Right? You don't know what's going to happen,
You
and
have no
so
idea.
right, having practiced that way, where I have to seek out people's feelings and kind of um, think through them myself and kind of figure out what they're feeling on their own. I can go to an event and do the
Yeah,
same thing where now at least I know what I'm shooting. I know the type of event, so I can kind of practice and prepare a little bit. But just having that ability to see
yeah,
something worth seeing, in
yeah,
somebody's face or their movements.
yeah. So what kind of events are you doing?
So I prefer to shoot for nonprofits, and so I do a lot of like this summer I'm going to do some outdoor concert events, and I do a lot of events for this labor organization,
Nice.
um, and so just different, like I do like Easter events or holiday events,
Oh,
dinners, just whatever for these different community
cool.
organizations. So
Cool.
all in Chicago that one focuses on like female entrepreneurs, another focuses on the labor organizing. So just
Wow,
different nonprofits.
cool.
I feel like being able to give my service in that way has been
Yeah,
mutually beneficial. So
yeah. You want to have impact with the
yeah,
with
yeah.
the work. Yeah,
And I
yeah,
want
yeah.
to take pictures that matter, so
Yeah,
I'll go on canvases, neighborhood canvases and stuff. I did a lot of shooting during the DNC
right.
locally for different political organizations, and it just helps. Have being able to do the candid work in that way has been helpful for my neighbors, and that's what I've been trying to do lately is get involved in my community.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So kind of like what do? You just reach out to people on social media or through like websites or
I just talk too much, like I'll find myself at a restaurant and
yeah.
I take myself out to dinner and then I'll be talking to someone next to me and I've gotten
Wow.
a couple shoots that way, just,
Really?
networking when I'm out and about, being social or just through,
Wow.
work colleagues. My day job is really supportive of me and they've given me opportunities and contacts. And just reaching out, like one organization, I was doing street photography in Wicker Park, and there was a booth set up. People were there just kind of canvassing the neighborhood for what they were doing. And I stop and talk to all these people. I like to talk to everybody. And so I stopped to see what
That's
they were
good.
doing. And they were the ones that are doing the label organizing. And so I got in
Oh, okay.
that way just because I was out on the street shooting and just talking to people. So
You never know.
you never know.
You
And
never know who you're speaking with sometimes.
yeah, that's the
It's
I
so
mean, that's the
true.
only way I've really gotten jobs. I've
Wow,
gotten
that's
a
great.
few a few side gigs here and there through
Yeah.
Instagram or just online or whatever, but
Interesting.
mostly it's just by being outside and talking to people.
Ah,
So,
yeah, and it's
or this one
genuine,
event
and
leads
it
to the next.
yeah, and it's genuine. Like you're not trying to like sell someone. It's like no, I'm actually like like interested in this. Like
Yeah, and
yeah,
and you'll do an event for an organization, and someone there will be like, "Oh, I have this thing coming up soon, and we could use the hand." And so you go
right.
to one event, and then there's somebody there that's like, "I've got another event," and you just
Yeah,
kind of network that way.
snowballs.
So
Yeah, yeah.
it's just this year that I even got my purchased the domain for a website. So even
Nice.
in all these years without a website, it's been
What's the
pretty
what's the
easy.
what's the domain?
Just my name,
Your
Caitlyn
name.
Welty. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing clever. I went too
Cool.
clever with my Instagram, and that got a little out of hand, trying to explain to people, like,
Right. You're right. Yeah,
businesses
yeah.
what my thing was,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I figured I should do something a little more professional.
Ah. So it's live?
Not yet, because I haven't made it. So, I
Ah,
just
you
did
just have a
that.
domain.
Yeah, so I bought it
Ah.
all, and I'm prepared, and I'm working on building this website, but, I just haven't really had a need to. I've been networking and, you
Wow.
know,
Yeah.
getting, different jobs and gigs that way, so
Mm. Also, like the works like speaks for itself too. Like when someone sees your work, like I always say, like show, like don't tell, like just show it to someone. They're oh
yeah.
cool, I like this,
Mhm.
and they'll say, oh, I got something next weekend, and so
That's
there's a
why I'm
lot of
looking
power to
forward to
that.
having a website, because
Yeah.
it can be a little weird to show my Instagram because that's not really representative of what I'm doing for
Right.
professional or event work. My
Yeah. Yeah.
Instagram's just my fun stuff, like this is what I'm
Right.
doing on my weekends
Yeah.
and what I see in my free time. That's my hobby work. So
Ah.
I'm hopeful to get a website up and running shortly so that I can kind of really showcase what I'm doing for
Yeah.
event stuff and
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome. So what's the plan? Like, do you have any goals with that stuff? Like,
Not really.
yeah.
I like where I'm at now.
Oh,
I'm happy with volunteering my work to these nonprofits.
sure.
I do some paid work, but I'd like to just get my stuff out there so that people see it. I don't really care
Yeah.
in a different way than Instagram. Like I would
Yeah.
like to be um I'd like to someone to be able to contact me for event work rather than relying on word of mouth and networking at a restaurant. I'd rather someone be able to Google and come up with my name
Yeah.
and maybe contact me because they've seen my work prior to
Right.
me telling them, "Oh, I have work," and asking
Yeah.
them to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly.
So,
Exactly. I know we were saying last time about being an artist too. Like being an artist and being like someone that just makes something because it like resonates with you, right? Like I think it's like
mhm.
that same kind of mindset where like you're doing the work for these not for profits, but you're actually passionate about it. Like you actually want to help these people. It's not really just like a transaction.
Yeah, and it means a
So
lot. Those pictures mean something to me too,
yeah,
because it makes me feel I really love Chicago and the city outside of, how it looks in my pictures.
yeah,
And so it helps me feel like I'm a part of my community, and
right,
giving back in the way I know how to give back. And it might
yeah,
not be, I struggled in the beginning, I'd be at these events taking photos while people were doing actual, labor work for the community. And I struggled with that because I thought, what I'm doing is not enough. It's not the right thing, or I could be doing more for my neighbors. And
mm,
so I had to really reconcile what my photos meant uh, in
right,
these circumstances. And so now I'm good with it. You know, I took the time and these photography can be a really expensive service, and these people need the networking, the marketing materials, and uh,
Yeah.
so now that I've gotten through kind of the emotional aspect of being a volunteer photographer,
Right.
it brings me a really good sense of like purpose for my community, and
Yeah.
makes me feel a part of something.
It's not just about the likes.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's not about the social media co. You actually want your work to be known for something, which I
Yeah,
think will really last in the long run because other people will see it, and you never know where it's going to go, right? Like I always say, like you never know who's watching when.
right.
You don't know. Okay.
I saw a picture of mine that I took. It's nothing. It's an insignificant picture of,
Yeah.
I was out on a canvas or something, and it was in this small newspaper. And man, that feeling was so good. Like, just to see, I was able to show my mom, like, hey, look at this photo that's in this, little newspaper. Oh, you're gone, Paul.
No,
It's just,
I just put your
oh,
full screen.
that threw me off for a minute.
Yeah. I just put your
But
full
no,
screen.
just to see that, I didn't expect my work to be shown in that way, and
Yeah.
it was, and it was just kind of neat, and
Yeah.
really
I,
insignificant moment in the grand scheme of things, but it meant something to me. So
I think it's always the smallest things that mean something to some people sometimes because I don't know. I think, sometimes we just like it's not even about like the social media like validation. I think sometimes we just want someone to say, oh, like someone like in person, like live. It's like, oh, I really like your work.
yeah,
I think that kind of exchange really goes a long way, especially in today, because I don't know, for me personally, I feel like there's just a lot of people like talking to a void, but like there's no one's like really respond like
I know.
no one's really like responding or like listening. Everyone's trying to just wait for their 2 seconds to speak. So
Mhm.
whenever actually someone takes the time like in person to say, oh, I really like what you did there. I think it
Yeah,
may seem like very trivial, but I think it's also very important too at the same time. So that's just
yeah,
my
it's really
personal opinion.
motivating and encouraging. Like
Yeah, you
it.
just want to hear it. You just want to hear it. Like it's not even about like seeing it on a screen. Like you just want to hear it like, verbally.
Yeah, right. It's just
So weird to say,
oh
but like
man,
that's what
great.
it is. Well,
No.
because like we're so used to just like getting the validation on the screen, but like
Mhm.
I'm like, when's the last time someone actually told me like in person something about my stuff? Like I don't even
It's
maybe
different, yeah.
last week, So I don't know. So I think sometimes like the smallest things are like the biggest things. So
Hmm.
you know what I
I
mean?
definitely agree with you there.
You never know who's going through what. You don't know. So I mean, if you can make someone's day, try to make someone's day.
Right? That's what it.
Especially, why not, right? But no, it's good. I mean, again, it's like you're passionate about it, and it's
Mhm.
great how it's evolved over these 2 years.
Yeah, I'm surprised by how it turned out for me. I really anticipated getting a lot more into studio work and creative portraits and stuff, and I just don't care about it. I just
Mm,
can't be bothered to set up some fake
right.
like
You want the
shoot.
rawness. You want the rawness of it.
I really like a real moment, even if
Yeah.
I'm manipulating that moment with my color grading or whatever.
Sure.
I still want it to be candid and real, and I struggle a lot. Like I've tried to do some family portraits and stuff, and I'm not great at directing people to stand and pose because it's so unnatural.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't feel right to be like, okay, stand still, and then okay, now everyone smile at the same time. I have a much easier time when I can do a candid, like more of a lifestyle shoot with someone and make them laugh and
Yeah.
catch them in a moment where they're
Right.
happier than just standing and posing and awkward. So I thought I would lean more into that genre of
Yeah.
photography, but I just did not. It didn't do anything for me. And
Yeah.
post stuff. It just I like movement, and I like motion. So that's
Yeah.
pretty representative in all my
Yeah.
photos.
Yeah. Emotion, feeling,
Hmm.
impact. Yeah.
Things
Sure.
moving. I know I'm into still photos. I never really got into videography yet.
Mhm.
I take some of videos, but I still like a lot of motion in my still photos.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff. I mean, again, it's just a matter of like how you want your body of work to be like known for, right? So, I
Mhm.
mean, if you're, if you're proud of it, that's all that really matters. Because then at least when you talk to people, people can like say, "Oh, you're really passionate about your work," right? Because you can tell when people when some people don't really care about their stuff anymore, like they're just kind of going through like the motions. So,
Yeah.
it
And it's all
becomes a
becomes
job.
monotonous and the
Well, it
same.
becomes a job. It becomes full. It becomes a job. It becomes a thing that they have to do versus they want to do, which I think
Sure.
is a big difference sometimes. So it's just a way of kind of managing how you approach the work too, right? So, I mean, it's great, right? Let me show you Instagram, and there are a few photos I really really like
Cool.
that you posted.
Oh, was that what you were doing when I was confused where you went?
No, I just put it in full screen. Like these ones I really liked.
Oh man, and see,
Oh, they're
this
so
is
cool.
I thank you. These marches are just so important, and
Like so great.
I have a hard time taking myself out of like, you see all that depth still in my photos. I have a hard time
Yeah.
taking myself out of, um, what am I trying to say? I have a hard time, increasing my aperture and
Right.
collecting a whole scene. I really still like a story. I like
Yeah.
it to look like a very emotional.
Yeah. I mean, these are photos that can be in like a time capsule, like just kind of
Thank
like
you.
like
Yeah, I didn't think
document the time.
none of these other people in the background, like it wasn't as significant. So I'm still
Yeah.
struggling. I'm not struggling, but I'm still trying to decide what I prefer as if I need to, I just opened my aperture so much.
Yeah.
This woman, her sign was up. She was holding her sign upside down in the middle of this
Yeah.
whole thing, and I thought it was silly. And
And then you.
so I tried to use the photo still because by just flipping it, because she was standing there and she was real proud and like
Yeah.
I liked how she
That's
was real.
well, it's cool what you did. It's cool how you flipped the photo around.
Thank you. Yeah, I just flipped it upside down because I thought, oh, now I can read the sign and why not? Something different.
Yeah. No kidding. Wow.
I like
And
this one too, girl.
yeah.
Like she's giving him advice.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Um, yeah, that's really cool.
This was yeah, back in April. I'm still editing the photos from the No Kings protest
Right.
on the 14th.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm taking my time with those, but I really liked this one.
Yeah.
Just this guy,
Yeah.
sign of the times,
Yeah, no kidding. Wow. So are there marches like every weekend or like what's the
Well, right now in Chicago, they're marches like this are pretty planned. They're gonna keep. They've been every month so far, but there's protests every day.
every
Right
day?
now,
Wow.
there's protests every day at the immigration court downtown. So they're not like this. They're not these you know mass protests that are happening on the news that you see. But yeah, every day there's a protest here now.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty unbelievable.
And it's unbelievable, eh?
But not to this scale. These that you're looking at now are all planned and they're what you're seeing
Yeah.
advertised.
Right. Man.
There's something
It's pretty intense. It's pretty intense. It's like, I mean, it's
that, and I'm working on more photos like that from the No Kings protests. And
right.
I think that's just what my next 4 years is going to be, and
Is that? Yeah.
outside of that, I've been just really focusing on the south side of Chicago. That's where I live. And I'm trying to represent a different part of the city that you don't see a lot of street photographers shooting.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I particularly like, I don't know. These, see, they're all focused around the election, It's so funny.
Which photo?
Like the middle one right here on the bottom, that one.
This one here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're just.
Yeah. Is this the south side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of my photos lately are going to be the south side.
Interesting.
And I liked him counting his money. Like, it's just sad.
Yeah.
And I don't typically take like sad photos. Like, that's not my thing. I'm not out
Mm,
there, exploiting people.
right.
But lately it's just, I find in my photos they're just a little, more somber than they were a year ago. And
Sure.
that's just, I guess, a result of the mood of the city and the people in the city. But,
Yeah.
and it's also me, it's also how I'm feeling, because
Right.
when I go out, I'm kind of seeking to comfort myself, like photography is my hobby and it's the way I relax. And so I imagine I put my own emotions into these scenes.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like therapy too, in a way, right?
Mhm. Oh, completely.
You know.
It's always
So,
there. And it's healthy, it's virtually just walking around a lot.
yeah. I mean, do you ever speak with these people that you're shooting, or
Oh gosh, no.
no?
Absolutely
No.
not.
They
I mean,
don't. They
unless
don't.
they stop me, but
They
no,
don't
I don't
come.
feel a need to.
No. Well, just in
Sometimes
terms.
I do a lot of I don't talk to people. I will talk to them, and I have no
Yeah.
issues like talking to people if I need to.
Yeah.
But I normally just do like a little smile or a wave, and
Right.
they're fine with it. If they notice me, uh, it helps that I'm kind of an unassuming person. I'm
Yeah.
short and I don't draw a lot of attention to myself typically.
No.
So
Yeah, I mean that's life, life is not always rainbows and sunshine,
you're
so
right.
it's a good reflection of just like life in general, like life during these times, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, you never know, in 10 years you can look back at these photos and go, man, what a time that was. So
Right. And that's what we're gonna end up doing. So
you know you can make this into a book for yourself, who knows, coffee table book for yourself, who knows.
my folks moved to California too. I don't know
Yeah.
if they were there yet. I don't know if they were there yet the last time we did this podcast. I can't remember, but so a lot of my pictures, if they're not Chicago, they're going to be Southern California. I'm trying to make a book for of just a photo book, like a coffee table book.
Right.
That's Christmas, California, and Chicago, just because it's the juxtaposition of those cities. I think
Ah,
that photo book would be really neat and something different. And because I travel to California to see my folks for Christmas and the holidays, I think it would be kind of fun to put both of those cities or states, I guess, together.
Christmas, California, Chicago.
Yeah, something like that. Like, so where I'm just making a book of all of my different travel,
Yeah,
like holiday California photos, holiday Christmas photos, or Chicago photos rather.
Ah, cool.
So we'll see. I've been working on that for like, I don't know, 6 months. Photo books and like coffee table books are just a never ending thing for me.
Yeah.
I cannot just keep reworking them a million times, and I'm never going to do anything with them except print them for myself or my family. So
Is
it's
it
hard.
matter just like choosing the photos?
It's just hard to choose the photos,
Yeah.
like I try and come up with a theme and, or a direction, and then you've got 100,000 photos to scroll through.
Right. Well, that's the
So,
thing, right? That's the
and I'm
thing,
like,
right?
oh, I have this brilliant idea. How fun. And
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
you get to scrolling and you're like, oh shoot, like this is daunting,
Yeah. It's almost
and
like
then
there's
I
just
just
lots of
stop.
and then you just stop, say, I'll do it tomorrow or something.
Right.
Be
Another
fine.
day.
Another day. Can't handle that right now. There's too much going on.
Yeah. Like, or not any, or just want to relax, like
Yeah.
after I don't know, after a lot of like a long week of work and then of shooting and then of doing a couple side gig events, it's hard to then be like, oh, now I'm going to sit in my free time and make a book. Like
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of person really. I'm a
Yeah.
introverted homebody. This is a
Right.
lot for me in
Yeah.
general, like having such a social hobby. So, I mean, I love it, but it's exhausting.
What do you do to manage? So what do you do to manage like not getting burnout?
I read books a lot.
Yeah.
I can
Anything
escape
good?
that way.
Anything good? Any good books that you want to
Not
recommend?
lately. No, I've
No,
been
no
reading a
good
lot of
books. I'm
terrible
always
ones.
looking for good books.
Are you? Well, if
I'm
I
always
come up with
looking.
something, I'll send you some
I'm
recommendations.
always looking for good books out there.
Lately, I've been reading just not great. Like, what do you call it? Like 2-minute mysteries, like whodunits.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Yeah, but those are so easy for me to just like not. I don't have to think. I don't have to worry about anything. I can just
Right.
get
It's an
through a book.
escape. It's an escape.
Yeah, and it's really relaxing for me because I still am reading, but I'm not thinking.
Yeah. It's an actual book. It's not like an audiobook or on Spotify. It's an actual
Yeah,
book.
I like audiobooks too, but
I can't
you
get
know,
into audiobooks.
what'd you say?
I can't do audiobooks.
No.
Can't do it.
Do you get distracted?
I don't know. I just need I need the actual book.
Yeah,
I need to hold it.
for something physical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Plus it's something to hold versus your phone. Just something different to hold,
yeah.
It just
Your
feels
phone
so
or
weird to hold a book. It's so weird.
funny.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm always on the lookout for books. So
Good to know. I'll send
yeah,
recommendations your way.
yeah, send me some stuff. I don't know. You never know. Sometimes people have some really cool books that you've never even heard of. It's like, how did you not hear about this before? It's like, oh, sorry.
I've been trying to read, like not read, but I've been trying to get more photo books. So I just recently bought this
Yeah.
photo book from it's like 1940 to 60s Chicago, Southside Chicago
Yeah.
music, and that's what
Oh
it's
yeah.
all about. So I haven't looked through it or read it yet, but definitely
Like
looking through a lot of photo books recently,
like
historical ones.
like photos, you mean? Like photos
Yeah,
from
yeah,
that
yeah.
time?
What'd you say? Sorry.
Like photos from that time, from like the musical era?
Yeah, from like the 40s and 60s in Chicago. But it'll come with like excerpts and stuff about, the event that the photos are from. But I love different books like that. That's about my favorite hobby and my favorite
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
So I've
Was it a
been,
lot? Was it jazz? What kind of music was it back then?
I don't know exactly what this book is about.
Yeah.
It's literally just called 1940 to 60 music in Chicago. So
Yeah,
I
keep,
don't
keep,
know yet, but that's the
okay.
recent one I picked up. So we'll see. I'll find out.
Oh yeah.
I probably should have picked it up and looked through it before mentioning it. Whatever.
No, it sounds cool.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like for like you like that book like documented that time of the city, right? Which is kind of like what you're doing now. So
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
who
to do.
knows?
We'll
Who knows
see.
who knows where those photos will go?
And that's why it's important to me too to like print a photo book. Like it doesn't matter if I don't need to like publish it or anything, but I just want it to
Yeah.
exist in print and together as a body of work rather than
Yeah.
individual photos just kind of
Totally.
floating around the internet.
Totally.
I want something to exist in tangible form. So
Yeah. I think it also it would have more impact too because it would be a body of work together.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
why I'm starting with that. I'll do that Christmas one for the two cities, and then
Yeah.
see how that turns out, and just keep making those little coffee table books. I don't know what else to call them because
Yeah.
I'm not going to publish them or do anything with them, but
I
you
never
know,
know. Never
I'd
know.
like them to exist. So that's kind of my goals now is to just keep finish my website so that I can get more, involved in the nonprofit work, and then
Yeah.
and have a actual portfolio built, and then start making more photo books.
Keep them coming.
You're right.
Are there any not for profits that you want to work for that that you haven't yet?
Not really. Not off the top of my head.
No.
No, I like the people I am doing work for right now. But whoever really, I just want to be available to anybody who feels that my work resonates with them. I don't want to change who I am as an artist to
Yeah.
work for a company.
Right.
That's not something I'm interested in doing. I'm not really, I volunteer my work, and so I'm not really looking to get told, how to perform for somebody.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so, for a free service, I'm still looking to practice, and I'm still looking to build my own portfolio and to express my creativity in that way. And so I that's why the website's important to me, because I want people to reach out to me that see my work and what it already is, and
Yeah.
then
I want
hire
that.
me from there.
Yeah. I want that.
So that I don't have to, I'm always going to have to work with people and change certain things, but I don't want to change at the core of who I am, what I'm doing,
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good message for people out there that want to kind of do something similar where sure you need to be able to work with people, but you can't change who you are as a person, like as a as a someone that makes art or someone that takes photos. Like you can't change who you are like
And I don't want to
at
find
the
myself like
core.
Yeah, I don't want to second guess myself either. Like I've
Yeah.
done a couple events that I wasn't like entirely comfortable, you know,
Mm.
doing just because of myself, like in what I'm capable of. And I just, I don't want to have to second guess the work I'm providing to somebody. I don't want to wonder,
Right.
like, is this what they were hoping for? Is this good? Is this
Mm.
the intent?
Mm.
And so
Yeah.
I haven't run into that a lot, but
No.
I'm worried about it a little bit. And so doing these nonprofit or the 501(c)(3)s or whatever, working for them, I don't run into that as much because they adore what I'm doing for them typically, whether it's terrible or not, because it's a service that's getting their, getting their name
Yeah.
out there. I'm helping them market, I'm helping them network
Yeah.
and doing that at no cost to them. People
No.
aren't going to complain about what I'm doing. And I'm not giving lackluster work. My name's still attached to that. I'm still giving
Of course.
things that I'm proud of and
Of course. It's
that I
huge.
can stand by. I'm not gonna just give people garbage. But
No.
ultimately, I'm also not second guessing myself. And did I give them what they want? Because they don't know what they want. They're expecting me to know what they want. And so it's just a better situation for someone like me who I just.
So what happens? Like you meet with them and then do
Well,
you do they just kind of say this is kind of what we're thinking, or you just kind of go in and saying and you
normally,
kind of
like
lead?
I just sort of tell them this is a situation. Like I'll spend 15 minutes with somebody ahead of time saying, okay, here's how I normally shoot. This is what you can expect of me as far as my candid photos and what I'm going for. And then I just ask them if you have certain expectations for post photos or of, a moment in this night that you want, you have to tell me in advance and I have to be prepared for that. And,
Right.
I do have a contract that, says that people have to cooperate. And if they're not cooperating, then there's nothing I can do about that. So I've run into it at events where, people don't want to be photographed and there's very little I can do about that in a candid situation. And so I have to lead with respect and not shoot those people. And then that makes it a little harder, but no, it's really easy to shoot events. Most people, I just walk in and, tell them my intentions and
Yeah.
that's it. And you just kind of
Yeah.
float around.
You kind of float around. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too bad that some people do want to get photographed.
Normally,
Too bad.
like my
Too bad.
day job, they'll let me do some events for them. And it's usually
Yeah.
like my coworkers that are like, no, don't take pictures of me. And so I don't think they quite understand that I'm doing this in a professional capacity because they see me, I'm an accountant, like for them,
Yeah.
there's no creativity there. And so
Right.
to see me in a different capacity outside of work, I think it just makes people a little more reluctant to have me, their coworker, have a bunch of
Right.
pictures of them.
Right.
So I can understand that, but it makes my job a little harder because now I have these strict guidelines where half the people there don't want to be in a photo and the other half are really, really focused on the event because it's something really important. And, the content of the event is important. So that's a very challenging situation to shoot.
Yeah.
You're
What do
like,
you do? What do you do?
you just,
What do you do? You just
I pretend I'm in a movie, and
right.
what I want to see. And really, I just wait for someone to say something, silly so that I get one quick little smile in a
Yeah.
room full of people not smiling. Or, I wait for somebody to say something profound and then somebody claps. And so you get a movement from somebody that's different than just a room full of people sitting there. And I kind of like events like that because I learn a lot. It's very difficult. And, I'll take 500 photos, say, and a 4-hour event or something and like a roundtable event and, come out with 20 or 50 good photos.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah. It's such a challenge
Reasonable.
because you're really trying to get someone making a decent face. But when everyone's sitting there, jaws open, paying attention to the speaker or whatever's happening, it's very uninteresting, as far as a photograph goes. So
yeah, you're trying to tell the story of the event, right? So you need to be able to capture part of that story, and that involves being ready.
Right. And I'm always on just like camera up, just standing there waiting for something to happen. And
it's like,
but I like that. Those events where you're kind of stuck in one place in one room and you're just trying to make the most of it. it's just it's a challenge in a way that going to, you know, an Easter egg hunt is not a challenge because you got fun colors everywhere
Yeah,
and
it's all
kids running
fun all the time. Yeah, it's fun
around.
all the time. Yeah, yeah. Well,
But
that's
I
you know,
like all of it. I'll go to any kind of event. I'm doing
yeah.
an event called Taste of Nigeria in
Oh yeah.
like 2 days actually, and then so that'll be fun, a really cool cultural event. I'll be doing a music in the park event soon. Well,
Nice.
just all kinds of different events. It doesn't matter
Cool.
to me. I don't care. I did a golf event recently, and that was a challenge because I don't know anything about golf. And so I had a really good time just like bumping around in a golf cart trying to figure out
Nice.
how to make these photos interesting.
Yeah.
I've never done something like that before, but
Yeah.
I go in
Well,
and I trust myself. And because I'm trusting myself, these people trust me and it all works out in the end, you know?
well, I think trusting yourself is a big part of it too, right? Like just being able to, especially when like when you're doing something that you haven't done before and you're still able to like execute, it gives you that confidence to do it the
Mm,
next time in some other place, you know, because you've kind of
yeah.
shown yourself that you can do it. So
I just draw in like
yeah.
former events. I've never taken pictures of golf, but I have gone to like a snowboarding event, and what
Right.
really they're just different types of
Yeah.
athletes. And so I try
Yeah.
and remember what I did at a former event that somebody was pleased with, and then just go from there.
Yeah. It's
Pull
those
my
just
shutter
those
down, and then I can
right.
just make it interesting that way.
Right. So do you like golf now or no?
Not particularly. Like,
Kind of slow. It's
yeah,
kind of yeah.
I'm not really like an athletic person, really.
Right. Hmm.
I like sports, but I'm a creative person.
Yeah.
I would go to all the golf events if I can take pictures of them, but I don't
Right.
think I'm ever gonna like play golf.
You don't think you're gonna play it? No.
My mom pretends she plays golf, and so like
Oh
I
yeah.
might
I
pretend to
don't.
play golf
I
with
don't
her.
play golf. I don't play golf. So like,
No.
I don't. It's too slow for me too.
Is it? It was
Yeah.
fun though. Like I had
It's
a really good time cruising around in that golf cart. Like I felt
no
on top of the
kidding.
world, 5
No
miles an
kidding.
hour. Like heck yeah, look at me go.
That's it, eh?
I'd
No.
roll up like, hey guys, here for a picture, and
Yeah.
then just
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
going. So I could do that
Yeah.
anytime.
Yeah. It's fun, right? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just there's different. Yeah. It's important to keep yourself challenged, right? Otherwise,
And
you
people
know.
at events like that like to get their photos taken. They're all
Right.
jazzed up, like
Right.
excited for what's happening. So those people, they're smiling big and making big grand gestures, and
Yeah. That
that's
makes it
exciting for
makes
me.
makes your job so much easier.
Yeah,
So much easier, you
because
know.
everyone's all happy and excited. I'm like, oh, everywhere is a good photo because
Yeah.
you're all feeling yourselves, and having a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's good. It's good to keep challenging. It's good to try different things and put. I think it's a good message in terms of trying to put yourself in like different situations.
hmm
You
Oh
know,
yeah, definitely challenge yourself, get in different
different.
situations, and where my street photography helps my event photography helps my street
Yeah,
photography. It's all helping each
yeah.
other, and I'm
To
just
help.
mhm,
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good how it's all kind of like gelling, which is a
yeah,
cool part of like the story, So
totally.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So is it like the new Pope from Chicago too, or something?
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
He
and I
was
think
wearing
he's
like
a
a he was wearing like
pastor.
a White Sox hat and like the
Yeah,
Vatican. I'm like, is that like kind of weird?
it's so weird.
Like
I have
kind of
a lot of
weird.
feelings about. I
Yeah,
have a lot of feelings about there being an American Pope.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not. I don't know,
yeah,
but I love Chicago, and I
yeah,
think it's pretty cool. It's hard not to be like, oh, the Pope's a White Sox fan.
yeah. But
It's
he's
interesting.
wearing it in the Vatican.
I know, like, this
Like
doesn't
it's
feel right.
kind of like I don't know.
It's
Doesn't
a
seem
very
very
like
Pope-like.
it doesn't feel very Pope-like, and it doesn't
No.
feel like respectful, really. But like,
Yeah, it's
I
kind
don't know.
of
I'm not Catholic, so I'm not sure really, and if that's like, I don't
yeah.
know.
I'm like, why is he wearing it anyway? White Sox. So
That's such a that's definitely a Chicago thing to do, though. Like,
is
go
that
in, like,
wearing your White Sox hat?
yeah.
You guys got some pastor fans over there. Let me tell you.
Oh my gosh. And the memes, my goodness, after he got
Yeah,
like, I don't know what did like voted in, or I don't know how that works, but after he became
yeah,
the Pope,
yeah.
man, the memes of the Chicago memes were off the charts.
I mean, the White Sox have to do something for him. They gotta
They're
get,
terrible.
they're terrible
I mean,
still,
I'm a
right?
White Sox
Like
fan, but like they're not
they're
great
they're
right
not they're
now.
not good, right?
Mm-mm.
So even if you,
Yeah, no, they're
yeah,
not good.
man, imagine trying to shoot the Pope.
Right?
I think it'd
Maybe on a
be
visit to Chicago, like at a
imagine.
little hot dog stand.
Imagine you're there. He's getting a hot dog, and you're just there. Like what?
Fingers crossed that happens someday. He's like visiting his
Imagine.
just on a home for Christmas from the Vatican.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
Oh,
Man.
funny.
Oh, you never know. It's all timing. It's all timing.
Right?
Sometimes it's all timing. You just never know when the moment's gonna hit. So
Seriously, that's why
yeah.
I try and bring my camera with me everywhere. You just don't ever know. I want to not upgrade, but I want to add a Fujifilm camera, like one of the X series or whatever. Because my Sony, it's huge. Like it's heavy and gaudy and uncomfortable to carry with me everywhere, but I still do.
Yeah.
And I'm glad
you suffer for the art.
right.
You
I'm glad I
suffer
got
for the
that
art.
camera. Like I don't regret purchasing that body, but it's heavy just to carry around for street photography. So I think I'm going to try and maybe even like a little Ricoh or something.
Yeah.
So that I can just have a small little camera to carry with me on the train, just in case I do run into the Pope someday at Portillo's.
Just getting a hot dog.
Yeah, I'm just getting a hot dog.
And you're there.
And I don't want to have my big old Sony like in his face. Like I need to have something smaller. So maybe I'm thinking something like a Fujifilm, but I really don't know. I haven't had a need to like add another camera. I've got a couple film cameras. And I've shot in so many rolls of film and developed one of them. And my fridge is just full of film rolls that I'm just not developed.
Why? How come you haven't developed them?
I just don't care to, like, it's expensive and I just don't care to, like, I'll see them someday, but like, I don't know. I liked taking them, but
you don't want to see it though.
I mean, I do. I just can't be bothered. I think part of me wants to learn how to develop it myself. And until I can develop it myself, I don't know that I want to take it somewhere to a lab. But I'm not quite ready to like teach myself yet how to develop. And I'm not sure like what rolls of film I'm like ready to ruin yet. And now they're just all sitting there being unprocessed. And now here I am talking about adding in, like, I'm going to get another camera body.
Yeah.
I got to slow down.
Get some more gear.
Yeah. More gear. I don't even know what half my pictures look like,
wow.
But I'm going to get more gear.
And like those photos that are developed, they're from like what year?
Oh, I don't know. Like 2008, 9, maybe? A long time ago. Like
it's like a time capsule.
Yeah. I do have a roll from like 2021 too, as well, that I developed from.
So what?
Yeah. So I guess I have done 2 rolls, but no, now I just have a bunch just chilling in my fridge. I got a Polaroid too recently that I'm terrible at. I'm so impressed by people who use Polaroids because like I blew through like 16 different shots and I just can't figure it out. I took it to a protest once and the flash was just overexposing everything. And then I was trying to take pictures of my dog and it just wasn't working out. So I guess that's another goal. I got to figure out how to work a Polaroid.
You can do it.
You think? I thought I could too. I was like, oh yeah, I could do this. No problem. I can do whatever I want. It turns out I'm terrible at it.
Really?
So,
wow.
I'm going to try though. So maybe next time we talk, I'll have a successful Polaroid and develop some film.
Well, you got a time capsule like in your fridge.
I do. So we'll talk about that in like 2 years, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you even doing back then in 2000, whatever, 9? Like,
just messing around. I don't know.
Messing around, yeah.
Who knows what I was doing in 2009?
You might see some crazy stuff. You never know. It's I forgot about that.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. But I just, it sits there, and after a while, because I have all my digital stuff too, and that's satisfying for me. And I know my film photos are probably garbage. Like, if we're being honest, I
think so.
Yeah, I can't imagine they're good. Like, they're probably just like snapshots, plastic snapshots. So that's kind of like what is demotivating too. Like I know they're probably crappy, and one day they'll be crappy in a way that is like nostalgic, and I'll be like, oh, look at this nice family photo or whatever that I don't like now, but in 20 years I might like it.
I don't know. I think for me, if it was me, I think even if they were garbage, I think they would still be cool for me just to like see like that time, just to I don't know, just to see what was going on back then.
Do you shoot film, Paul?
No, I don't, but all my friends are.
They do. Do you think you would wait to develop, or you would do it pretty quickly?
I'm not sure. I think depends. I think it would take me. I think it would take me some time.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like, what do I want to do with the film? Because I think film photography is so much more intentional, right?
Mhm.
Because there's so much more money invested and so much more time. So
That's the
to
problem with
me,
me film too. I don't know what film stock I like. Like
yeah,
I've shot so many different rolls of film, and I just don't know what I prefer.
yeah.
With digital, I can do whatever I want. So
Yeah, like even like I might even do film like doing like shooting those like marches or protests. I think that like that might be a different look, might be
yeah, that would be pretty. I bet that's pretty great. And I did,
yeah,
I did see a bunch of film photographers at the protest actually recently.
yeah.
It's
There
a
must
great
be so many. There must be so many out there.
Mhm. There's a big film photographer I can't speak. There's a big film photography group that I recently just
Yeah,
went to, and I'm going to go more frequently in the summer here.
yeah,
But man, yeah, there's a ton of film photographers in Chicago, and they're really active and social. They get
yeah.
together a lot
Nice.
and network and help it. I think some of them print and develop and all that. So it's a really good community, and I just kind of I haven't really gotten into that yet because
Yeah.
I haven't developed my film. So
You show up and say, "I got 10 rules that I haven't developed."
right. I
You can
did
ask
show
them for
up once,
advice.
already, and I just brought my digital camera, and I'm like, whatever. I just want to network and meet people, and they were all really decent. They treated me really, really well,
It's good.
even though I wasn't shooting on film, and they're all talking about their cameras and their stuff, and I was just there,
Yeah.
a warm body to hang out with. So
Right. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
it's just yeah, it's always good to meet people because
yeah.
sometimes you never know who you're speaking with, and that person can change
Chicago's
your life. You have no idea. Sometimes you have no idea. Just a matter of like I think it's important just to like be more like outgoing.
yeah,
I feel like in Toronto, like there's a lot of like it's like there is a large like group of people that go out and shoot and do all kinds of stuff, but also at the same time, people like to like I don't know, stay home a lot and not want to engage with other people. Like it's a weird dynamic. So
yeah,
I feel like I don't know. Here it's like I feel like people like don't see a lot of people in person, like live.
mhm,
That's what I was saying about like telling someone in person live, oh, I really, really, really like your stuff. Like, I don't know.
yeah.
I feel like people just like to stay in sometimes. Too much.
Hmm. Yeah,
Too much.
we have a really active community as far as like meetups. I know actually in the first podcast you were asking me about our meetup culture, and I
Yeah.
wasn't really familiar at that time because I hadn't networked. I hadn't really met anyone besides a few people. And man, now you know, now I'm a part of a group of 150
Nice.
photographers, and we just like Chicago photographers, and we talk advice and events and
Yeah.
locations, and it's there's a lot of people out there shooting, so really friendly welcoming city
It's
as
so
far as
important. Yeah,
yeah,
it's so important just to like, I don't know, just talk to someone in real life and just it's like it's a different dynamic.
yeah.
So
I'm really proud of everybody in this city. I've
yeah.
made some really great friends, talented and funny and kind and just really good people. So
Yeah.
Instagram is really cool in that regard because
Yeah.
while I've stopped kind of posting recently, and I'll get back into it. I have a day trip. I'm going to go to New York soon and try and like get
Nice.
myself back into the swing of things. But
Yeah.
I, I still am networking on there and talking to people and meeting friends. And I just am really proud of the people in Chicago because really good group of people that are really active and politically active right now during all the protests.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting out there and shooting and kind of pivoting from street stuff to documenting. But just everyone I've met has been so decent, and
Yeah.
uh, I've
It's
learned so
good.
much from all the people. So meetup culture, awesome.
Yeah, it's good, right? Chicago. It's the place to be. It's a city
Yeah,
to be. Like
it's a charming little place. It's
is
not
it?
as exhausting and overwhelming as New York,
Yeah.
but still a giant city, and it's very, very charming. I love it here, and I don't have any intentions to leave. And
Never gonna leave Chicago.
no, probably not. I mean, maybe, I
No?
don't know, who's to say,
Yeah.
but like I really love it here. And I take day trips. Like I'm taking, it's a 2-hour flight to New York. So I'm going to spend a day there and try and get myself back in the spirit of typical storytelling rather
Right.
than the documenting I've been doing lately.
Yeah.
But no, I take myself to new neighborhoods in Chicago and try and,
There's
see
a
new
lot.
things all the time.
There's a lot of neighborhoods in Chicago to
Mhm.
check out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I
Different
still
different
haven't been to
pockets.
all.
Really?
Yeah, even since the last time you asked me that, like, I think you asked if I've been to all the neighborhoods, but no,
Yeah.
I still haven't. And
Wow, really?
I find the places I like and I just keep frequenting them.
Ah,
Um,
you
you know,
you become a master of that neighborhood.
I'm
When the,
trying to. I want to shoot every street in the neighborhood I live in right now, and
yeah.
it's kind of a big neighborhood. There's a lot of streets, but that's my goal. So I have a map that I'm just highlighting when I shot that street and I highlight it. So I'm trying to make it through the whole neighborhood.
That's cool. You got like the map. You got this big map on your wall. It's like all highlighted
I
and
should
stuff.
do it that way. I have a little map,
You
but I should
should
have done it bigger.
like this mad scientist thing. He has
Yeah,
a map on the wall. I'm like, what's
it's
happening?
funny. So I'm just trying to make little goals like that because it can get hard to like get creative in the same spot all the time. But
Right.
when you make little like challenges, and then I always have a place to shoot. Like if I'm like, I don't know if I want to go out downtown tonight or if I want to go, here or there. So
Right.
having this goal of shooting every street in my neighborhood kind of, well, might as well just go to this new street. So that helps.
So like, what do you do when it's not happening? When you're not getting anything? Like you're just like it's not happening. Like, do you try to push on or just go home?
I go home because, I can't force myself to feel creative and I can't force myself to like see things. When I'm starting to feel like nothing's out, nothing's happening,
Yeah.
I just try again the next time. And, I still end up, I'll try and get creative in the spot I'm at, like find a corner and just try and get a couple random photos, even if there's no subjects, nothing's happening. See if I can get creative at all. But I'll just go home. It's
Okay.
You're not going to get something every time you go out, and
Yeah.
unless I'm going out downtown every time. But that's not the case, and that's not a life I want to live. I'll bring my camera on every walk I go on, and nothing happens sometimes, and that's okay. I used to be more concerned about that when I first started, but now I'm like, well, I'm just getting exercise. I might not have made a picture, but I feel better. So,
yeah. Well,
and I tried, it's better than sitting at home thinking, oh, I should be out shooting,
Yeah, you don't want to have that. You don't want to have that kind of like pressure on yourself because then it just becomes something that you have to do versus like wanting to do, right? So
right. Yeah. But I honestly find, there's something interesting every day. You just have to want there to be. And, ordinary things are very interesting. You just have
100%.
to see them differently. And I don't know. Like I said earlier, just pretend I'm in a movie and how would I want that scene to play out if it was a movie? Sometimes
it's like the simple things that are really interesting to look at. It doesn't always have to be this like hero shot. Like it could just be like a simple, couple walking down the street. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to shoot the eclipse every day, right?
Right, exactly. It doesn't always have to be brilliant.
It's not always going to be an eclipse every time. Did you guys get the eclipse last year?
I didn't. I was worried about like ruining the sensor on my camera, which I don't know why I was worried about that. Like maybe I shouldn't have been, but I was. So I just didn't. And I didn't like at the time I didn't have my camera insured. And I was like, I'm definitely the person who's gonna like burn my sensor by
no bueno.
Yeah. So I didn't do it. I should have though, because everyone's photos were gorgeous.
Yeah, there were a lot of photos.
So pretty. And is it one of those things that's like not going to happen again? For a long time.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. You can go to a different part of the world and get it, but it's more of a trip. It's more of a commitment.
I really liked everyone's pictures. There's a lot of really great New York pictures on the day of the eclipse with everybody with their glasses looking up. I sort of regret not going out and shooting the people looking at the eclipse.
Yeah.
Because those are really interesting pictures. But I didn't think about it. And I was all worried. Like I was worried I was going to point my camera at the sun and then something bad was going to happen. And that was probably a little hyperbolic of me. I shouldn't have worried. It's a little.
Well, that's what I mean. Like it's,
huh?
you got to be able to like, get stuff when there's no eclipse and try to frame stuff that way.
I'm always really turned off too by really intense events like that. Like I try and make normal things interesting rather than interesting things interesting.
Interesting things interesting.
Yeah. Like I want, in retrospect, in hindsight, I'm always like, oh shoot, like I should have gone out and done that. Everyone's pictures are awesome. But then in the moment when it's happening, I'm like, there's 1,000 photographers, like Henge. I still have not shot either Chicago Henge, not in spring, not in fall. Not in all these years.
Really? Not even by accident? Not even by accident?
Not even by accident. Because when it's happening, I'm like, there's so many people out there right now. Like,
I have the exact
up on me. The same.
I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way. Like what am I gonna do? Like
right, like how am I gonna make this difference?
What am I gonna do?
There are hundreds of people standing at this street right now.
I feel the exact same way.
It's hard for me. I still haven't gone to see the Chicago River being green. All my life living here, I've never seen it in person because I'm just like, there's all these people. You know
what? Whenever you live in a city, you never do.
Right? I go to some events. Like there's stuff I'll do, but like those major tourist attraction things, I want to do them in hindsight. It's always in hindsight that year that I'm like, I should have gone. That looked fun.
Yeah.
But then when it comes up the next year, I'm like, nah.
I'm good.
Skip it. I'm gonna watch a movie today instead.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with the crowds, right?
Yeah, but I think I should do that more this summer. So, and try and find some little bits of joy here and there because it is kind of a grim and weird.
Yeah, it's intense. It's intense.
Time, so
it's intense.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to find little bits of hope and
yeah, you gotta stay positive. You gotta stay upbeat.
Yeah.
Find ways to like do that. I mean,
I struggle. I struggle being creative right now because it just feels selfish. It's hard to get out of that mindset. To be thinking about my own art and my own creativity in a time where really bad things are happening. And so I try and balance. I'm trying to balance, but I'll have more politically charged photos because of the protests and stuff. So we'll see.
Well, I think you're doing more than most because you're doing all the work for the not-for-profit. You're reaching out to people in your neighborhood and your communities. So I don't.
That's my favorite part.
A lot of people don't do that stuff, right? They just kind of like stay in their shell and.
It's important to me to not get stuck doing just street photos. I didn't want to be stuck. In a. I don't want to do everything. I didn't want to be the photographer who's like, I shoot everything. Well, how are you going to get good at something if you're shooting everything? Like how? Yeah. And so it's important to me to focus, and I focus my energy on candid stuff, but the event work is really very important to me, and it matters to me as much as the street photography does. So I think that's kind of the lanes I'm going to stay in and try and get more involved that way. I volunteered at the DNC. It's something I would like to shoot one day. I volunteered in a different capacity than photography, but events like that, I would really like to be involved with, taking photos someday.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's just practicing now.
Yeah. Just kind of like you're trying to make your work like more than just stuff on Instagram. You want your work to be like known, you want your work to be basically like a time capsule. Like this is what happened in this year. And
well, when we first talked before and we were on Instagram, like it was all still really very new and exciting for me. I was like just in the, brand, like just in the thick of it, and it was so fun. And now it's very consistent, and I have a consistent method, and I know what I'm doing on there. And I had to find other ways to get, like those little dopamine hits. Like the likes weren't doing it anymore, and now I'm like, okay, I have to go do work that matters. This doesn't matter at all.
That's what lasts though. Like doing work that matters to you is really what lasts. Like, it really kind of like really stays with you because like the stuff on social media is very fleeting. Like it comes and goes in waves and
because
more of a roller
coaster. It's up and down. It's exciting. It's not exciting, but like ultimately, I was getting tired of not making photos that didn't have any kind of impact in some in some way. So
Yeah, of course. Exactly. And that stuff will last like forever, right? So
mhm.
it's very inspiring, very
Thanks.
exciting. Just really glad how it all worked out for you so far, Caitlin.
Thanks, Paul. I'm glad to talk to you again. This is so nice.
Yeah, we're up against the hour, so I just won't take up too much of your time. But
Time flew by.
always flies by. These things always fly by.
Yeah.
Anything that you want to add? Final advice, words for people out there?
No, I'm just glad to chat with you again and see how, things change and how,
It's always cool.
how people lean into the times of the world. So I'm glad to chat with you, and no advice, just you see me, I'm a completely different photographer now than I was when we talked the first time, and I don't feel like I have any right giving advice out. I'm still guessing half the time.
Aren't we all?
Right.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Caitlin, for your time. Everyone watching and listening, wherever this thing is, go check out Caitlin. Work links are in the description of this podcast, and hopefully have you back on sooner than 2 years, Caitlin.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks for watching. Peace.
Yeah. Bye.